Hey guys, it's Gundidi here, and I got a question for you. Out of the major production 5.7 pistols nowadays, budget-wise I should say, which one would you choose? Options today, we have the Tisas PX-5.7, we have the Smith&Wesson M&P5.7, or we have the Ruger 5.7. We'll go over specs of each one and see what you guys think. We'll start with newest and go to the oldest. How about that? Starting with the Tisas, we got the PX-5.7. This one was just introduced not terribly long ago. I think it was earlier this year. It is a full-size pistol, just like your standard 5.7 pistols. Kind of resembles the original FN FiveseveN in its kind of design. It's got a, 5 slot Picatinny rail. It's got fiber optic front sight, blacked out rear. No optics cut, which is kind of a bummer. Full-size grip with decent grip texture. It's not very aggressive. 20 round magazines. A 4.8 inch barrel. Of course, steel barrel. And then, let's go ahead and show that that's empty. Let's check out that trigger. Got a little bit of take up to get to the wall, and then it breaks right through the wall. Let's go ahead and see that reset. Brings you right back to that wall, and then it breaks. It's actually a pretty decent little trigger. A little heavy, but pretty decent. Other than that, it's got front and rear cocking serrations, and it's a pretty basic pistol, but in 5.7. Also, standard prices for these guys is right around $400, which is pretty incredible. Next up on the block is the Smith&Wesson M&P5.7. Now this came out, I think it was last year, so it's a little bit older than the Tisas, of course. This one is a little bit more feature-packed, though. Of course, you get a fuller size pistol, just like most 5.7s. This one kind of resembles more of a standard M&P lineup than like the FN series. This guy runs a full 5-inch threaded barrel. This thing's kind of cool because it's got a kind of a gas delay system that's built into it. It's got lightning cuts in there. It is optics ready. This specific model is a 3-dot model with the manual safety. It's got a 4-slot Picatinny rail, full-size grip with some really decent grip texture, kind of like reminiscent of the Shield grip texture, not quite as aggressive as the M&P full-size series. And it runs a 22 round magazine, so 2 rounds more than the Tisas. But let's go ahead and show you that trigger. Of course, you get a little bit of take up to a wall, your brake, reset, a tiny bit of creep to get back to that wall, and then the brake. It's actually a pretty good trigger too, and in my opinion, a little lighter than the Tisas. And of course, you got front and rear cocking serrations. All right, and then the last pistol, which is the oldest of the 3 I'm showing you today, is the Ruger 5.7. Some people call it the 57, but there's definitely a period in between there, so I'm going to call it the 5.7. This is, yet again, another full-size pistol. This one is very similar to the PX-5.7 with its design resembling similar to the FN. This one runs a 4.9 inch barrel, not threaded. It's got the cutout on the top for lightning. It's got front and rear cocking serrations, a 5 slot Picatinny rail, fiber optic front sight, blacked out target style sight, manual safety that is ambidextrous, and the standard Ruger grip texture that they've been putting on since pretty much that security series. 20 round magazine, and let's go ahead and show you that trigger. Of course, it's got the curved trigger instead of that flat face trigger. Little bit of creep to get to a wall. There's a little bit of sponginess there. and then the brake. Now that brake's all the way to the rear of the trigger guard. Let's go ahead and see that reset. That resets all the way out here. Then you got to creep to the brake again. Out of the three, I would say the Ruger has the least appealing trigger. The 5.7s is, the PX-5.7s is a little heavy, but it's a good trigger, and it'll probably break in to be a little lighter. Out of the box, I'd say I like the Smith&Wesson's trigger just a little bit better than everything else. But this is the Ruger 5.7. Now, these guys all range very dramatically in price differences. The Ruger 5.7 is hovering around that $800 mark, which at the time was half the price of the FN, which is a smoking deal. Then the Smith&Wesson came out and kind of undercut it by $100. This guy's floating around that $600 mark, although I have seen it as cheap as $500. So that's a pretty smoking deal. But the best price out of them all is the Tisas. Now this is made in Turkey, while these two are American made. This is a Turkish made gun, and just like all the other Turkish guns, this guy is only running at around $400. You probably can find it as cheap as $350 somewhere. But that is a dramatic price difference between these guys. My question for you, is the price difference on the PX-5.7 worth buying it over one of the American-made companies, especially with Smith&Wesson's feature sets and Ruger's reliability and customer service? I'm not sure. That's your opinion. That's going to have to be on you. But weight differences as well is a difference here too. You're looking at 24 ounces on the PX-5.7, 24.5 on the Ruger 5.7, and then the heaviest one of the group is the Smith&Wesson at 26.7 ounces. I will say, feeling them, just holding them, the PX-5.7 actually kind of feels the heaviest, and it might be because it is the thickest. I mean, look at the Smith. It is super skinny in comparison. And then the Ruger, it's not much fatter than the Ruger, but the grip is much bigger. So you guys with big, huge hands probably might like the grip feel of the PX-5.7 a little bit more than the other guns on the table, because the other guns have more of a squared off grip, especially the Smith&Wesson. This one's very squared off and very skinny across that front strap, while the PX-5.7 kind of feels like a normal 9mm pistol. Like, it gives you a nice firm rounded grip. The front strap is a little bit more squared off than their normal series of pistols, but it's a lot less squared off than the other two. So ergonomically, I'd probably give the PX-5.7 the points, because it is ergonomically, it is a better pistol than the other two. My personal opinion, I like the 5.7 because with the price point, you get an American-made company, you get Smith&Wesson's warranties, and you get a lot of upgrades on this guy compared to these guys. But if you're on a budget, this PX-5.7 is a nice deal. And if you're a Ruger fan and you love Ruger's customer service, which is phenomenal, there is the Ruger 5.7. Now, they do make an optics-ready version of this. This one is not optics-ready. It is a little bit more expensive, but you get one of those feature sets that you're missing on that guy. I don't believe they make a optics-ready of the version of the PX-5.7 just yet, but I could be wrong. Guys, let me know in the comment section which one you would choose. Are you leaning towards the cheap Turkish-made, or are you leaning towards the American-made? Or there is a fourth option. Palmetto State Armory has the Rock, which is right around the same price as this PX-5.7, and it's American made. Your opinion, your choice on that one. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think. Let me know if one of these is what's catching your eye, or that Palmetto Rock. And guys, hit a like on this video. Let everyone know that you like this video and send it out to the algorithms to help this channel out. And guys, as always, this is Gun Deity, and I will see you for the next one.